In the last 5 years, I've just seen this almost glut of content available about product management, and I think that's great. There's never been more material, and a lot of it free, that you can refer to learn about product management. The downside of that is that it can be really hard to navigate and get a coherent story. And what we find is a lot of people publishing nonsense, tendentious stuff, trying to sell you books and all this other stuff. And I was thinking about it recently. If you watch my videos, you know I'm pretty frustrated by it in some respects, and came up with a couple of terms I thought that I would share with you. And the first one is the Echoverse, kind of based on the metaverse, this parallel world in product management where we just hear the echoing of the same messages. People who are probably getting a little more traction than they should with folks, referring to each other. And instead of creating this big diversity of thought, it tends to concentrate it, to focus it. And that's not always a positive thing. So be careful about the Echoverse. And within the Echoverse, there's another parallel world that I call the Simpliverse. And the Simpliverse is this fake reality we've created where things are super simple, where product managers are empowered, where we tell people how they should organize their company and expect that to work no matter what the context, wherever they are. The Simpliverse is really dangerous because when you try to apply these things to a real situation, you realize that there's nuance. So be really careful about the Echoverse that's developing. I'm afraid short term it'll probably get worse rather than better. And then be super careful about the Simpliverse. And don't feel bad if you hear these simple messages and you're like, well, I can't apply that. That doesn't apply to me. Yeah, product management is practiced in a bunch of different ways in a bunch of different contexts. So let's see what we can learn from the Simpliverse without getting sucked into it and thinking somehow we're inadequate, because we don't, our practice doesn't reflect this oversimplified world. Hope this was helpful.